Welcome to Soul, Light, and Body. How are you guys doing today?
Excellent.
Oh, wow. Grateful to be here.
Yeah, Jamie, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to Soul, Light, and Body. It's a beautiful thing when we can share spaces and we can share energy and we can uplift the collective.
Yes.
That is so important right now because many people are suffering from burnout. And burnout can feel like being stuck in a foggy maze. But there is always a way out. Once you're in a maze, you can always get out. And whether you're finding balance or setting boundaries or rediscovering what brings you joy, it's possible. Burnout is something that we all face at some point in time in our lives. But the idea that there is always a way out is incredibly hopeful. And it reminds me of resilience and how we humans can always tap in, pause, tap in. And in the darkest moments, there is opportunities where we can pivot and rebuild and recover. So it is a beautiful thing, and it's not a bad thing to go into those spaces, because when we go into those spaces, it helps us to realize a lot of things about ourselves. And it helps us to reflect and get deeper messages, because we are very creative. We are very creative. And when we suffer from burnout, we can regain balance, and then we able to live our purpose. But when we are in those places, we need to practice self-compassion. Self-compassion, self-care is needed in those moments. So this evening, we have Jamie in the house, and he's going to really help us understand a little bit more about burnout and some of the strategies that we can use when we are really facing burnout. And the thing is that we have choices. We have choices. And if at some point in time in your life you're feeling as though you're burnt out, you're feeling as though you're feeling drained, your energy is not up to par, it's clearly telling you you need to step back, you need to pause. If you got to get off from social media, do it for you. You're not doing it for anybody else. Do it for you. Because many times we are going through the process of burnout, but we are denying ourselves and telling ourselves it's not burnout, but it's burnout. And we still pushing. We still pushing. But there is only so much you can push the structure. After a while, you're going to get breakdown. And you really don't want to push it till you get breakdown, because breakdown is very disease. So you really got to take things in hand at an early stage when you realize that the metabolic health is not really going the way how you really want it to go. You got to step back. It's essential that we step back and realize exactly what's happening with our health, because it's very, very important for us. And the thing is that we as humans, we have to realize that our bodies has the capacity to heal itself. So whatever you're going through, know that the body can heal itself. This mechanism that we have here is made up for that. But I really don't want to give away too much of tips, because we want Jamie to really feed us tonight. We're hungry. So we want Jamie to feed us well this evening. So I am Karen Pascal, holistic health and wellness coach, and a co-author of two books with my sister Joan. Your gut and you and self-care is intentional. And also we have hard copy magazines, Start Healthy, and the digital copy as well. And if you have not signed up yet, in the footnotes, you're going to see that we have all of those links in there for you. You can sign up. You could go to Amazon. You can purchase your copy of Self-Care is Intentional. But I'm going to toss the mic now to Joan. Jamie, welcome once again to Soul, Light, and Body.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Great opening as always. Welcome,
Thank you,
Jamie.
Joan.
Tonight it's such a great topic because it happens all the time. And we just want to talk to those who are experiencing burnout tonight. Take time for yourself. Disconnect from social media and
Yeah,
of gadgets and everything. Just disconnect. Just pause. Because there is power in that. It's not weakness. There is power in that so that you can continue to stay strong. You can stay healthy. You can have the level of vitality to really live that quality life of great fulfillment, stepping in your power. Take time for you. Choose you at this time. Choose you to nourish yourself. Choose you to eat the quality food that's going to provide you with all the nutrients that your body needs. And the other aspect, nurture yourself. You deserve it. Take time to exercise, take time to spark your creativity, take time to spark your joy, your physical activity. Declutter. Look at the things that are weighing you down, that you feel burdened by. Let it go. Let what is not serving you well, because as you're taking this time for yourself, look around. What is not serving me well? Take time to rest. Your sleep is important. Just relaxation is good for you. Take time to get outside, enjoy nature. It's a great time of year. You can see everything is popping up, the colors, the trees, the flowers, and the roses, and everything. Take time, this time, take time to admire and look and absorb and get inspired whilst you're going through rejuvenation, refocusing, getting refreshed so that you can serve from a full cup. So when you step out back and you connect and doing all the amazing things that you're accustomed to do, you're starting back with new perspective, greater insights, more strength, because you're not just surviving, but you're thriving. You're showing up with your all. You're coming in with your power. That when you step in a room, people could feel that level of vibration. You command the room because you took time for you. You nourish, you nurture, you took the time, and you're moving in a level of alignment. So you are aligned. So when you step into the space, whether it's group or one on one, your voice carried a level of resonance. And people hear you, they see you. You know what you're about. Take time for you. And remember, choose only what chooses you.
true.
Choose what only chooses you. Surround yourself with amazing people who supports you, who hold you up when there are moments that you're going through or experiencing burnout. Gratitude is a wonderful thing, it's a good tool. Because when we can have gratitude or when we can exchange gratitude or gratitude for ourselves, so who we are and what we bring to the world on a daily basis, show yourself love and compassion. You're special. You're amazing. And tonight we just want to congratulate all of you who are taking those bold moves. You're pushing through fear, failure, rejection, setbacks. But you're saying, no, I have the level of resilience that I'm going to step forward. And even though I might feel away in this moment, all those things I've listed is a sense of redirection because you're pushing forward to be your best, live your best, and bring out your greatness, your uniqueness to the world so we all can enjoy it. So don't forget our books. You can bundle the books because it's self care and gut health. And then something you can try when you finish reading, share it with a friend. Share it with friends so then we keep it moving forward so that they can imply self care for themselves and also take care of their digestive health, their microbiome, so that they can stay healthy too as well. Because sharing is caring. My name is Joan Williams, holistic health and certified holistic health and wellness coach. And tonight we got such a great topic, and as I said before, but such an amazing person who is going to be sharing with us and serving us well because we experienced the level of value that he brings to the space. So Jamie, it's true honor to have you share space with us tonight, and you're going to enlighten the audience. You're going to pour on us tonight and tell us about burnout and how one can get out. And it's not the end. There is hope. You're going to bring hope and optimism tonight. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for both of your beautiful words. I am behind both of you 1000%. Everything that you have said is so true. And you spoke to some of my favorite words: balance and choice and recovery. And there are so many different ways. Gut biome. That was a great post, by the way, today, Karen.
Thank you.
There are so many different layers and aspects to burnout. This is sort of a part 2. So if you didn't watch part 1, definitely go and watch part 1. I'm not going to start off from where we left off. I don't know where we're going to go. But what's going to come through is going to be actionable for you. It's going to be clarifying for you. And it's going to provide you with some insights that may ring true for you or someone that you care about, because more people than not have been in burnout for much of their life without realizing it. And we are going to talk about why that is and where we are now and how we can get out of it, because I'm someone who has gotten in and out many different types of burnout. And it is an honor to be here. For those who do not know me, just a quick intro. My name is London Wollberg. I am your leader of love, an Usui Holy Fire 3 Reiki Master teacher, and so much more. But today, I'm really wearing the concise hat of burnout recovery expert and as well intimacy expert. And what I do is I support you in getting out of burnout from a holistic spiritual lens. So we're looking at the physical body, the physical meat suit, the mental body, anything I think that I'm thinking, my process, the emotional body, anything I feel, love, and the spiritual body, your higher self, your intuition, your spiritual team, anything that you perceive and believe that is expanded within and beyond you. And without a deep awareness of all of these things, you are not able to live an authentic life. And when you do not live an authentic life, you are going to burn out. And it's not your fault, because we have been programmed to behave, to become, to believe within certain standards for a very, very long time. And we have been long in process of dismantling this. And the pandemic, though tragic, was also an incredible gift to humanity in order to propel us into making these changes and actually realizing that it's happening. So everything that is coming through is stuff that I embodied, lived, and loved through. I am someone who was not living an authentic life probably like yourself, for a very long time until I got into my mid 20s. And here's what's wild: I thought that I was living my authentic life because I had already come out as queer, because I was always ambitious as I was very young, and I knew that I was here to help people. So I was doing all sorts of different careers to help people. There was so much that I thought I had, that I wanted this whole life. And then, like a pinch, it was gone in a blink. My life was no longer someone who is lively and vivacious and excited to live and has a trajectory for life. I became bedridden, and we did not know what was wrong for a very long time. Spoiler, it was chronic illnesses and disease that came from the disease that I allowed and created from being out of balance. Because that's what burnout is. Burnout is being out of balance. You either feel good or you don't feel good. And if you don't feel good, you are out of balance. The issue is that we have, within societal measures, throughout all cultures around the world, decided that we are about doing more than we are about being. It's created an incredible amount of fear, an incredible amount of pressure, and a lot of confusion as to what it is that we are actually doing here. And through this process, we have found our ways into many different types of burnout, whether we're burning out from our career because we're working instead of living a balanced and healthy life where we love our career and we're fueled by our career. We can have health burnout because we didn't take care of our physical body. We could have mental emotional burnout because we didn't take care of our mental emotional bodies. We're not expressing ourselves. We're not feeling supported, safe, and secure. We can have financial burnout because we're chasing that money, whether to pay for the millions that we already had and spent, or to create whatever is necessary to survive. We can have relational burnout because we don't have a good relationship with ourselves or with others, because we've been heartbroken, because we're in a toxic relationship. There are many ways to burn out. And as Lady K and Lady J are as passionate as I am about purpose, there's also purpose-driven burnout, whereby you either don't know what your purpose is and you're chasing it and feeling unfulfilled, or you know what it is and you're chasing it and you're so enmeshed in it that you forget about all the other things because that feels good. And so no matter how you slice it, you've got to have balance in your life in order to have a life without burnout. And so, in order to get out of burnout, it is important for you to be honest with where you're at. Look at your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual body, and without judgment, in observer mode, take an assessment of what it is that is going on for you. What is going well? What feels good? What doesn't feel good? What's not working out for you? And once you make that discernment, you will realize where your burnout is and what changes you need to make. And by taking steps little by little and integrating yourself into a self-care routine that will foster and nourish your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual body back into balance, you will find yourself living a balanced and healthy life. The issue is when you listen to that pressure from society, you tell yourself, I don't have enough time. I'm not worthy. I can't do this. Someone's better than me. I'm not someone, like, this can't happen for me, right? Like, there's all that imposter syndrome and all of that concern. And I'm here to help you remember how powerful you are, how worthy you are, that you are a divine being and co-creator, and that if you do not stop what you are doing that's not working for you, if you do not bring yourself back into balance, your physical body will stop you.
Sure.
And just like me, a decade will go by and your life will go by with it. And if you are not mindful throughout that process, you will lose every lesson along the way, and it will feel like it was for nothing. So don't let it pass you by, and don't let yourself get to that point. And if you're at that point, Let's figure out what's going on for you, because there is a way out. I am proof, and so are you.
Wow. You have, thank you so much. I mean, you provided us with a great overview. You took us on the different levels of burnt out. And like you spoke about, if you really don't take care of yourself and really observe what's happening with you, right? And not taking care of yourself and not observing what's happening, and you're out of balance, you're not moving in the level of alignment, you will not be able to attain every single thing that you desire to have in your life. You will not be able to live a fulfilled life because there's a breakdown. There is a breakdown. You're fatigued, your brain fog, there is no clarity. Everything is not going the way you want to. So that's why it's so important that you got to stop and pause and reevaluate, reassess, where am I? Doing some self-reflection, self-awareness, self-discovery, to stop. But yeah, because of course we want our job, we want to chase after all the good things. Who don't want to? I mean, we want to have everything, right? And everything is moving so fast every time. But then we got to stop and say, well, who am I? What am I going after? Am I aligned with my purpose? And what am I doing to me? How am I feeling? Because when you can evaluate and stop and spot and recognize, I am not productive. I'm not who I am, who I'm supposed to be, because I'm not able to deliver. Because I feel fatigue, I'm sleep deprivation, my digestive system is not well, I'm not choosing right food, and then the list go on and on. And then you talk about emotion, you're not expressing yourself very well. So all these things are bottled up inside of us, and we're trying to do everything. And we're not taking the time to stop, relax, reevaluate, where am I? And being hard on ourselves. So you have really helped us to think, and the viewers as well, who is going to be watching us, who is watching us live, and who are watching us live, and those who are going to catch us on the replay. Thank you so guys so much for watching. And so what you're doing, Jamie, is for you're helping us to think, think where you are and what you're doing and how you're moving through life, and looking and see what really matters in the moment. And are you taking that time for you? Karen? Thank you, Jamie.
Welcome. Thank you.
Jamie, the thing is that you're serving us so well. The food is really good.
Yeah,
The food is really good that you're serving us this evening. And the points that you just point out, it's really important that we really look at all these areas in our lives. For instance, like you mentioned, relationship, you know, we can be relationship burnout. You also dive into purpose,
that's a big
you
one.
know, because many times we are chasing things, we are chasing things so fast. And sometimes the things that you're chasing is not your purpose,
Right.
you know, and because of that, you get frustrated and you get burned out. But you know what? You got to know what is your why.
That's important.
You got to know what is your why. Because when you know what is your why, you're able to focus and you're able to eliminate the weeds that is not serving you. And the weeds could be people as well.
Yeah.
Because many times we have people around us who is burning us out. And we're not even taking stock of that. We really need to we really need to look at burnout on all levels. Things that is not serving us, we need to get rid of it. Relationships that is not serving us, we need to let it go. Because once you start to feel stressed out, you're going to get burned out. It's leading you straight there. And if you have to be alone for a period of time where you have to pause, pivot, and reflect, do it for you. Because anything that you do, you're doing it for you. The choices that you make, you're making it for you. So we really have to look at ourselves and understand why we're feeling the way we are feeling, and what are some of the things that we need to do in order to feel better about ourselves. Because many times we're not feeling worthy enough about ourselves. And that alone could lead straight to burnout as well. So we really gotta understand burnout and know when we are burnt out. You gotta prioritize your sleep, because rest and recovery is very important. It's very, very important. And another thing too we gotta really look at is boundaries.
That's super important.
We have to reevaluate our boundaries, because many times we are tolerating things in our lives, and the things that we are tolerating, it's getting us upset and it's making us feel burnt out. So, Jamie, my question to you now is, how can someone start to set healthy boundaries when they're feeling burnt out?
It's a great question.
It is.
The first
Thank you.
thing that someone needs to understand when they are burnt out is that whatever boundaries you have going on, they're not working. And that's
True.
okay. And it may not be that all of them aren't working. So that's why it's important to make that assessment. And the first thing to realize is I don't feel well. Like I don't feel good. Something's not feeling well, right? And for some this feels more challenging to different degrees than others. It requires a certain amount of intimacy with yourself to have that inner standing. Right, remember before I was saying that our physical body is our alarm system. It's the final stop. You can bypass a lot of things with the mental and emotional body and the spiritual body for a while before your body shuts down, but it will. It's going to happen if you get there. There is no other line of defense that can get you away from that. Why? Because you're a human being in a physical vessel. So before you get there, hopefully, you have noticed that things are not feeling good for you. But if I'm, for example, going into my story where I realized that I was burnt out really from the health journey, physically speaking, right? For example, I had all these physical symptoms that were going on. So I had a headache. Now I know that I need to address the headache, right? But we live at large, in Western society especially, with this awareness of this is a symptom, and if you go to the doctor, I'm going to treat the symptom. And while some may go further and scan and get to a larger situation, say if I have a really horrible headache, I'm not manifesting this for anybody, certainly not myself, but if I have a headache and it leads to a tumor, right, that's that bigger thing. That tumor needs to be removed. But here's the thing. What caused that tumor?
True.
Because they may say, well, this tumor is caused by this, that, and the other. But if you talk to enough people who are miracle health babies, or have a cancer that suddenly disappears, or have something that shows up and they can't explain it, it happens every day, all the time, all around the world. And what is left? What's going on in the mental and emotional and spiritual body. Whatever manifests within you is going to show up in the physical body. If you're happy, you're going to feel physically well, so long as you're nourishing on all of these different levels. So the first thing to figure out for your boundaries is what's not going well. And then look at that and say, well, what are my boundaries? So if I have a headache, am I hydrated? Am I sleeping enough, the way that Karen brought up? Am I eating enough protein? Am I eating too much protein? Am I allergic to something that I'm consuming or that's in my environment? Is there a noise issue? Am I listening to music too loud? Are my neighbors too loud? You know, there's a lot of different things to look at. And that's going to require you to get in touch with what doesn't feel good. I think it was Karen that was speaking to earlier. It's important to go into these shadow experiences, right? Into these emotions that are uncomfortable, into these physical experiences. Because if I just say, I have a headache, I'm going to take an Advil, that's fine. But does that promise me that my headache's not going to come back?
Right.
No, it doesn't. It's going to come right on back, because chances are there are behaviors and boundaries that are not being honored that are linked to that thing. So look at what doesn't feel good. Then notice, okay, what boundaries, what rules have I set for myself? What stories, narratives have I created around that thing? So for me, for example, I'm chronically dehydrated. Like, it's something that I'm constantly working on for some reason, has been an issue throughout my life. And I love water, and I don't really drink much caffeine. I don't drink alcohol, none of this, but yet I still have this issue with water. I used to have this narrative that I couldn't drink enough water, right? And when I had that narrative, what happened? I wasn't thirsty. And I wasn't paying much attention to my water, because I had decided at that time, I can't drink enough water. I'll drink when I'm thirsty. Well, here's the thing. When we go about life and we just say, oh, I'm going to drink when I'm thirsty, but you're a human being that's in a vessel that's made of mostly water, then you can't just drink water whenever you're theoretically thirsty, unless you're truly drinking enough water, right? So I realized that my narrative, my boundary around water was not healthy. That was not working, and that was leading not only to headaches but to other things. I had sore muscles. My sleep wasn't as good. I wasn't digesting my food as well. I wasn't in a good mood, and even I just didn't look healthy and alive. Like, we don't even realize how much that matters until we get hydrated, and then we're like, oh, this is what it's like. If you've ever had a fluid, IV fluid, and suddenly you're properly hydrated, it's a night and day scenario. Why do we think that there are so many different products out there now to help us in a powder form, right? Get us into this hydration state of being. So then I created new boundaries, and I was like, okay, I know that I need more water. This is not working. So I started to take little steps, like, okay, let me try and get a bigger thermos. Let me get one of the bottles that has the measurement thing that cheers you on every time you drink the wine. It's like, you're doing great. You drank more water. I tried all the apps. I tried doing jugs of water. I tried eating more salty foods. I created different things until I figured out what worked for me. Turns out that what works for me is to be intentional about my water.
Yes.
And what that looks like is the first amount of water that I have, which is pretty quickly after I get up in each day, I set intention and I pray with my water. And I thank my water for hydrating me. We know scientifically now that water holds memory. So I talk to the water and I thank it for cleansing me and clearing me, and for purifying my body, mind, soul, and subtle bodies. I thank it for hydrating me so that I'm in optimal health, that I feel healthy with ease in my physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies. I thank it for helping me to receive information, to understand the downloads and the upgrades that are happening within my body, and to help me to embody my highest timeline for my highest good and for the highest good of all. And I don't know what to tell you other than the fact that doing this for easily the last 6 months or more, probably at this point, every day, I'm drinking more water, and my water somehow just goes farther, and I just feel better about it. And I take those initial sips, and I take it with a Samet 7, which is not something I'm affiliated with, but it's a whole bunch of non-psychedelic mushrooms put into a little capsule. And I take it with that to help with my gut biome and with my inflammation, because I experience fibromyalgia and things like that. And has like lion's mane, which is really great for memory retention and all of these different things. And I just get thoughtful about it. And when I set my intention with that, then I realized, wow, what else can I set my intention for? When I started setting intention with my espresso, and then I started setting intention with my food in general. And I was not raised to pray over my food or anything. And I don't think it's right or wrong either way. But I don't even know that it's necessarily a prayer as much as I'm thanking those responsible for bringing this into my life. That's another thing that I always do. I thank Gaia, and I thank all of the different beings that came together throughout their life to bring this to me, farm to table, so to speak. And so from there, I find out what works, and then I create a formalized boundary. And from that boundary, usually as they show in science, 60 to 90 days later, it gets easier, it's solidified. And then along the way, I reevaluate. So if I'm, for a while it's working out, and then I sort of see myself peaking down and not drinking enough water again, okay, whoa, what's going on? Not drink enough water. What else can change? And then you can change it again. Our boundaries are designed to evolve with us.
Yes.
And we are constantly changing and evolving. And as we choose to improve ourselves, the boundaries are not going to align in the same way that people won't align, or other things that we desire won't align. Instead of focusing on what aligned 10 years ago, or even 5 minutes ago, or what's going to align with you 10 years from now, release yourself from that awful question that I dislike in interviews of where do you see yourself in 10 years? Because it's not about that. You can have a greater vision. I have a greater vision. But if we put that pressure on ourselves and we form boundaries that are meeting us in 10 years, Jamie, as opposed to right now, Jamie, we're going to burn out because we're not fostering where we are now. How can you win a race you haven't started?
True.
I love when you both answer things at the same time. It truly brings me joy. My siblings are twins, and they used to do that stuff too. I love it.
It's truly amazing, because listening to you and what you're saying that if you're drinking water, you set an intention with that water, and many times we don't realize how important these simple things are. These simple little some people would call it rituals that you do for yourself every day. It is just honoring the things that you choose to put into your mouth, and you're speaking life into what you're having. You're pausing and you're saying, you know what? I'm drinking this glass of water. And as you go down to my cells and to my organs, clear any things that need to be cleared out from my system, And these are powerful things. It sounds so simple, but it's very powerful. But the thing is that we don't really sit and think about these things. We have a plate of food in front of us, like what you just saying, you before that food get in front of us, it came through so many hands before it reached us, and we are grateful for the persons that it passed through to get to our table, that we could prepare it. We don't stop to give gratitude to that. But it's the simple things in life that is so important for us. So simple. And I really like when you talk about nutrition, because nutrition is so important. Nutrition is a part of burnout as well, because whatever you eat, that is the way how you're going to feel. The types of food that you consume, that is how you're going to feel. So you got to watch what you're eating as well. That is so important. You got to look what you are eating. What you decide to put on your plate is very, very important for your body. It's for your health. And if you want to have this optimum health, you got to choose the right foods for the body to give it the health that it needs. And you also talk about the body signaling us. You know, many times we are getting signal, the body is trying to tell us something and we are ignoring it. That's the only way the body can tell us exactly what's happening, is by giving us signals and letting us know that something is wrong. But many times we are not paying attention to those signals. We are bypassing those signals. Like we normally say to people, whenever you go to use your toilet, always look back to see what's going on. Because whatever comes out, it could tell you and indicate to you exactly what's happening internal. It tell you exactly what's happening internal. So we need to pay attention to these things. It may sound, oh yeah, it sounds so simple, but it's very important for us. That's only way the body could signal to us. You're getting headaches. The body is trying to tell you something is wrong. You're feeling fatigue. The body is trying to let you know something is wrong with the body. That's the only way, because the body has the intelligence, but it's only we ignore it and bypass it. That is why it leads to so many other problems down the line, because we're ignoring it. The body was telling you before, but you wasn't paying attention to it. You push past it. You're push passing it and ignoring it. But at this point in time in our lives, we really need to pause and look at our lives, see where it's heading, and say to ourselves, you know what? I am going to take my health into my hands. And whenever you go to the doctor, make sure you ask the right type of questions that you need to know. Ask questions, because many times things are just cover up and it's not getting to the root exactly what's happening with you. So you really need to be proactive about yourself and see and know exactly what's happening with you. Right, John?
I can agree more. You know that what you have done for us, Jamie, is that you have helped us to understand being intentional with what you do
Yeah.
is super important, because once you can move from that space with an intention and living intentionally, from your water drinking to, as you went through the list, it's super important because you're taking an inspired action, your approach. Okay, this is what I need to do for me that is going to help me to do the things, well, that will enable me as an individual to live the quality life that I need to. And it starts with me. It starts with me as a person. What do I do that I can take the inspired action to attain the goal? I'm going through burnout. I'm not feeling good. I'm fatigued. That's why self awareness is so important.
Yes.
Self awareness is so important. So as you watch us tonight on live and on replay, be intentional about what you're doing. You might be going through burnout at some point in time, or you are experiencing burnout at this point in time. Don't be hard on yourself. Just be intentional. Because when you be intentional, then you can achieve that goal so that you how you can maintain mentally, physically, and emotionally. Jamie, talk to us about what kind of tools spiritually one can bring themselves who are experiencing or encountering burnout to bring them back into center and balance, and that they can be in a space that they can practice that not only for the moment of burnout, but it can you can, they can incorporate that in their daily living as their lifestyle.
Oh, that's a great question. I love that.
Thank you.
So I will touch on something for each of the bodies, so that way everyone can think about it, because it's never going to be just one thing.
Right.
It's just not, right? Like if I had to choose just one thing that I'm doing, that stresses me out because only one thing is not how I got to where I
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So in the physical vessel, I would say that the most important spiritual tool that I utilize is walking meditations. Um, you can run if you want. And exercise in general, yes, is important. But for me, when we're talking about spiritually, what we can bring in spiritually, the guided walking meditations. And what this can look like is either listening to some soothing music or listening to the nature around you. If you've got an environment like that, good for you. And you can just go into nature and hear the birds and whatever the case may be. We're starting to approach that here in New York. It's still a little cold and rainy, but soon we'll be able to do that. Or
Right.
listen to something that is guided. The intention here, when it's not guided, is to allow your mind to wander.
Mm.
Allow yourself to think about whatever comes up for you. Allow yourself to wander, so that way certain emotions can flutter up to the surface, that certain ideas that you are trying to sort out, or maybe your next greatest idea is going to come through. Utilize that time to talk to God, source, spirit, Allah, collective, the universe, whatever resonates with you, your higher self, something that allows you to feel connected with more than you, and focus on your breath. Focus on how the breath feels going through you, and just allow yourself to be present. So that's my top favorite for sure for the physical body. The mental body, I love to decompress. So I, for example, will take on some sort of, plant spirit journey, or I will allow myself to, even just have some tea and just sit there and journal, or like free write, allow myself to just process whatever comes through, not judge myself. And in doing that, again, the same thing, it's allowing me to get more connected, to see what's coming up on top of mind. It may surprise you. You may start writing about something that you're upset about, and the next thing you know, you're writing about something that happened to you 10 years ago, 20 years ago,
Mhm.
that was bothering you, or something very beautiful comes up and suddenly you feel this really big release. Either way, that's going to help you to process. This also touches upon the emotional body. But when it comes to the emotional body, spiritually speaking, I love to do anything that's going to focus on getting me heart centered. And
Mhm.
to me, feeling aligned and centered in all of our chakras and all of our bodies comes down to how we feel, right? Because again, where does burnout come from? Not being in balance, by not feeling good, or feeling good and you're in balance, and therefore, or you're maybe somewhere in between within burnout. We are feeling beings. Humans, our souls came to be human to feel. So if we ignore our emotional body, then we are missing a huge component to what it is to exist, to be, to do. It's what propels us into everything that we do, everything that love is. comes from these emotions, and all of our inspired actions come from the emotion of that inspiration. So something that I really love to do is to tune in with Reiki and sound baths. So I am an Usui Holy Fire 3 Reiki master teacher, but you can also just like even go on to YouTube or, go on my content, whatever the case may be, go to someone's content who is an attuned Reiki master and allow yourself to receive the energy that they're providing you. This is not something that you need to do in person because since everything is energy, the Reiki flows regardless of where you are. It can be totally distant. And when it comes to the sound healing, I'll either give myself a sound bath with my own instrument or I will receive one. Many Reiki practitioners are also sound healers, or they partner with a sound healer, or they play a really soothing track. When I'm talking about sound healing, in this case, I'm talking a little bit more than just sort of like beautiful nature sounds, which are totally valid and having immense merit. I'm talking about frequencies. So I'm talking about solfeggios. I'm talking about actual tones that have scientifically and spiritually been proven to support your whole body. Our body is like a tuning fork. And so all of this frequency and energy that we are is able to balance out within these frequencies. So I will often listen to some sort of guided meditation, sound bath, Reiki combo if I need to in order to get myself centered. And I will focus on my heart space, allow for all of that alignment to come through from my emotional state. And when it comes to my spiritual state, I love to channel. I'm a galactic channel. I receive information from all sorts of timelines, dimensions, beings, my higher self, your higher self. You name it, I'm interested. If they want to come to me and they are of benevolent means, I love to receive that information. And that is something that allows me to feel less alone. It allows me to tap into my gifts, my spiritual gifts, my energetic gifts, and just feeling into the gratitude that Joan was speaking to earlier, how important that gratitude is. And just tapping in to realizing that I'm not on an island and that I'm not the only one going through it, that it's not the whole state of the universe is not just on my shoulders. That's why there's billions of us, literally. So those are some totally actionable things that are accessible. They're things that you can get. Almost everyone on the planet at this point has access to those things. And if you don't have access to some sort of consistent digital world, then just focus on doing those things in the nature that's around you and supporting it for each other. Maybe you get together with a friend and you tell them some affirmations as they tune into their body, and then you switch. There's always a way, but those are some very actionable ways to go.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for outlining that, because when we can all, it's so essential that we can all tap in and recognize that it is within us. We can do this. We can do this. You choose what works for you, what resonates with you. And so you can bring yourself into a space of center and balance. And really, you do feel good after whatever you're practicing, because you're focusing on your body, you're focusing on yourself, you're focusing on your inner being. And when you step out of that space, whether it's meditation, whatever you're doing, you fortify yourself. You give your body what you need, what it needs. And then you can step out, step back into the world and move forward. But it's so essential. I know you talk about so many things, but I just want for you to just go a little bit deeper, because people may want to know, okay, you talk about chakras. Talk a little bit about that. Go a little deep into that. Talk about the chakras and how it helps us, and importance for our chakras to be in alignment.
Sure. So some of this, it might seem a little more esoteric to some than others, and that's okay. You receive it how you receive it. But
Right.
we're we're going to go in a little bit here, okay? So if you can keep your mind open, I believe firmly that each of us are stargates, effectively an energy portal. Why does this make sense? Because again, scientifically, spiritually, we understand that we are all energy, everything is made up of energy, and it's moving all the time, right? And so, and we can even acknowledge this on the basic level of, like we were talking about sleeping earlier, right? And rest. The fact that we have a shift in our energetic flow that has different needs to be met to get there. In order for us to be in balance, we need for our portals, of which we have multiple, depending on who you are, you may believe in the 7, the 9, the 13 or more chakras that we have throughout the body, that and around the body in the auric field, or what the Western medical community is now talking about scientifically as the biofield. And when we talk about this, we are talking about all of these different centers that are connected to different parts of our physical body, our mental body, emotional body, and spiritual body. So simply put, we're all made of energy. These are centers of our energy. And what do we think about when we think of a center? We think of where the power is, right? Where the source is. So if we think about even how we plug in an electronic device, right? My laptop holds power and energy. It's made of energy. There are crystal chips in my laptop that are making it function, that hold all the information and data together and keep the power stored in there to a point. And then, right, the battery gets low and the computer says, low battery, please plug me in. And you plug it in to an outlet, that's that energy source, which is connected to a grid. So now let's imagine we're all energy flowing and we are all a stargate, a main portal of energy. And each of us as a portal of energy is connected. We create a beautiful grid of the human collective. There's also an earth grid. We'll come back to that later. So within us, as our big center, right, also the human collective, right, and then we're the I. So our I, our individual self, big portal. Everyone come together, different portals. Coming now even more narrowed in, right, how we talked about the headache, right, and you need to get to the bottom of what the headache is. So to get to the bottom of it, we look at these centers, these portals through us, and those are what we know as chakras. They're called other things in all sorts of cultures, but the cultures that we are most, that have become more modern in the Western age from the Eastern age have mostly come from India and other parts of Asia, and we're coming into chakra systems. And so the chakras that are coming through mostly the center of the body, out of the body, below the body, and then in our palms, and then in our eyes, these chakras have a force and they go clockwise within us. So imagine that if you're in alignment, all of your chakras are going at a nice pace that feels comfortable for you. You feel neutral or blissful or happy or anything other than the lower frequencies of not feeling well, right? And these are going at a synchronistic pace. So they're all turning in the same direction. Well, let's say that you have a breakup and your heart's broken. Chances are that your heart chakra is going to slow down or even reverse, and you get a block there. And so if you're blocked there, what happens when we're heartbroken, right? We get depressed, we get fatigued, we get anxious, we just don't feel motivated. We may even get angry or agitated or aggressive or hateful. We may get sad. We may get revengeful. So these are all energies that can be blocked in the heart chakra. So what do we need to do? We need to balance the heart chakra. Well, what do we do when we're heartbroken, right? We talk to a loved one. We talk to our therapist. We cry it out, watching sad movies, listening to sad music, eat tubs of ice cream, whatever the case may be, for you that you do in order to love through that in that moment. But if we continue to do things like eating tubs of ice cream, right? Well, what is that going to do to the rest of our chakra system, right? We can only do that for so long. So it's not right or wrong, but it's not going to help us in a prolonged sort of proactive way get our heart chakra turning back clockwise. What we need to do to bring it back into balance is to process through that heartbreak. And that means getting intentional, reinvesting in the memories, looking at what actions you took, how you felt, how did they react, how did they feel, what actions did they take, figuring out what it is that's working for you that you desire, what are things that you maybe don't actually want in partners or friendships, whatever the case may be. And then we nurture that part of ourselves, right? We validate our emotions. We validate our experience and perspective. We come into forgiveness and gratitude. And then we proceed forward into actions of going to therapy, journaling, going out with friends. Maybe we start dating again. Maybe we take to art and we focus on our form of expression because we didn't feel seen or heard. Whatever is deeper there, we can answer to that. And then our chakra aligns and comes back into balance. So our chakras are super important because it's about the balance of our energy. And if we are all frequency, then it's important that we acknowledge that we are made of these frequencies and that everything connects just the same way that our nerves connect with our ligaments and our muscles, and all of our cells come together and we have different organs that work together. Everything is symbiotic, right? We have the sympathetic nervous system, the parasympathetic nervous system, we have the endocannabinoid system, we have the immune system, we have the neurological system, we have the respiratory system, we have all of these different larger systems that come through, and everything is connected. Say if you're not connecting with chakras, there's meridians, right? You can go into Chinese medicine. There's many different cultures all around the world, as well as in Africa and Egypt. America, respectfully, we're like catching up. Like our indigenous peoples had it on lock. We ignored it for a long time, and now we're like, oh yes, we got to pay attention to these kinds of things. But these are not new things.
Nope.
They're old things.
Yes.
We forgot them, or we were programmed out of them, or whatever the case may be. And spending time, undressing all of that is a whole other episode. But what's important is you are where you are. You are a beautiful being of energy, and you have these incredible power centers of energy within you to nurture and take care of. Did I answer the question?
Excellent.
I lost myself. You got it. That sometimes when I'm channeling,
that was so beautiful.
Right on point.
That was beautiful. Wow.
Sometimes I worry by the time. Yes,
I'm thinking about someone who might be say, okay, you touch on, I may have a broken heart because of a relationship, whatever, and you took us there. You said it's okay to have your ice cream or whatever, but what are you going to fix and get back in line of your heart chakra? And you took us through that, so beautifully done. Karen, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Jamie, you make it very simple for us to understand. I really like when you talk about a laptop, because that is so simple that we can understand that. Even to our phones, so simple that we can understand that, And we're conducting this podcast, right? It's a field of energy. Everything is energy, and many people may not agree with what we're saying, but everything is energy. It's energy. Without energy, we can't exist. We cannot exist, you know? And when you talk about a laptop, we have a phone or we have a laptop. When we're realizing that the battery is going, it normally alerts us. On our phone, you see red.
Hmm.
And once you
Mhm.
see red, we clearly indicating to us we got to plug in, right? So why we cannot understand that language as well? When
Mhm.
you realizing the way how you're feeling, you got to plug into
Mhm.
source. You got to plug into source so you can recharge yourself and you can be of some sort of value. Because when the phone recharge, you can use it. You can have the value for the phone. When the laptop recharge, you can able to use the laptop and have value from the laptop. So it's the same thing happening with us as humans. But many people don't want to hear that. You know, some people like to stay in the victim mode. They just want to be there. But how long you gonna stay there? How long you gonna stay in that mode? Because that energy is dense. That's a
Mhm.
dense type of energy. You've got to pull yourself out from that type of mode, and then you have to recharge yourself so you can be of value. And as Jamie pointed out, so many ways that we can recharge ourselves: meditation, prayers, whatever works for you.
Mhm.
Use it to recharge yourself. Because whenever you show up, you want to show up and you want to be authentic when you show up. You want to show up and you could be fully present when you show up in a space. So we've got to realize that the whole thing, it is simple, but we making the thing so complex. It is very simple. Nature teaches so much because we're a part of nature. When you look outside, nature teaches everything we need to know. But you know what? We're not paying attention to that. We're just not paying attention. And because we are not paying attention, we miss the messages. We need to really pivot and look at our lives, take a hard look at our lives and see where we are heading and do the things that is necessary for us to move forward with our life. Because many times, as we said in the opening, we are chasing things, and those are not the things that we're supposed to be chasing.
Right.
They're not healthy for us.
Slow down.
We got to slow down.
Right. Right. Right.
We
I
go
also
ahead, John. Go
no.
ahead,
I
John.
was just gonna second opinion. I was just gonna interject because I think mindset play a key role.
Yes,
Mindset
yes,
play a key role because if you have a fixed mindset, there is where you're just stuck there, and you don't have a growth mindset that you can open yourself up to listen to new ways how
yes,
I can
yes,
center myself, listen to new ways how I can
yeah,
be balanced, right? And incorporate new things that works to me, that resonates with me, and help me so that I can really fortify myself. Look at my daily routine, how am I
yeah,
pausing throughout the day and give gratitude, and all those list of things that can
yes,
help one to be much calmer, much center, more aligned with what is it that the life, the quality life you're living.
Hmm.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
But
mm-hmm,
if the mindset is fixed and this is how I normally do things, and I have those limited beliefs, and so you're there, so you're not opening to new information because science and technology is moving so but there's so many new things as much as there are old things but ancient practices as well, there's certain new things that are coming into to play that we can just blend in and incorporate, and so it can help us to live a optimal health, quality
Yeah.
health, live a life of fulfillment, a life of
Yes.
alignment. Right,
Yes.
Jamie?
So
Yeah,
true.
yeah. If we don't live a fulfilled life, then we're not living a happy one. And
Yeah, that's,
many say, and it's true because we experience it over and over again. Our elders, as they are transitioning from this plane, are usually focused on what they didn't get to do.
Mm,
yes.
They're
Yes.
regretful that they didn't
true,
wake
Yes.
up with
true,
that person, that
true.
they didn't forgive
Yes.
themselves, that they didn't,
Yes.
Oh, I'm so
and
glad
yeah,
I'm so glad you're touching on that, Jamie.
mhm. Sometimes,
Yeah.
sure, it was, oh, I didn't go on that trip or this and the other, but a lot of the times it's like, I didn't tell my daughter that I forgave her. I didn't, like all of these kinds of things, When I started transitioning my gender, my grandmother had a really, really tough time with it. And for 5 years, we went from having an extremely close relationship to being what felt like lifetimes and light years apart. We did not communicate for 5 years, and it rippled out through the family. And thankfully, I decided that I was going to forgive her
Mm,
because the love that I felt for her and what I was missing and what I started to understand her perspective and what my actual desire was, which was I wanted to feel the love from my grandmother for me that I had always felt. I thankfully figured all that out before she passed, and we were able to completely heal our relationship. So that way, when she transitioned at the legendary age of 98, after living an incredible life, that was not something hanging over me, and it wasn't something hanging over her. And she lived a beautiful life, and she felt that she lived a wonderful life, and she was someone who went through an incredible amount of stress and challenges, because she escaped Hitler, and my family, most of that part of the family decided to find their way to come over, and they escaped France. Um, so, no matter what your challenge is, no matter what is going on, if you do not loosen that mindset and have the courage and the audacity to expand into your greatness, that is what's going to be at your peril. That's what's going to lead you into that burnout. And if you don't believe us, just ask your body,
mm-hmm.
because
Sure. Sure.
when you are in bed, you are going to know that this is for real.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something to really sit and have a reckoning with and around, because we live in the age of information now. Everything is different. And so if you the realm of like, oh well, I just didn't know that, that's not a thing anymore, because there's a lot of people that know it. It's all over the internet, and all you have to do is open up your phone on whatever social media app you are rabbit hole scrolling on, and you can find information. Your solutions are within you and literally all around you now. So it's up to you to
Sure.
determine what is enough and when enough is enough. And typically, if you have found your purpose, or you are looking for your purpose, you are going to notice this quite fast, because
Sure.
you're going to realize that it's going to feel like you're walking through quicksand. And,
Yes.
back to the laptop, if the laptop is dead, it's just a laptop. It's an item that is holding information you don't have access to.
True.
Mm.
So
Beautiful. Wow.
if you are dead, then you do not have that access. I mean, perhaps you have access to the actual quantum of everything, but in terms of humanity, your human life where you're wanting to be present. And I didn't always want to be present. I was incredibly suicidal. I was in 10 out of 10 pain all the time. Nothing made sense to me, and I felt dissociated from my body. And boy, was it was a huge reckoning for me to go from someone who had an incredible amount of energy and just all the physical wellness until I didn't. And I changed my life because I made one choice, which was that I am here to serve. I am here to bring and embody love, and I cannot embody this purpose without having embodiment. And that means being balanced in my physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual body. And I'm here to enjoy. I'm here to enjoy what this incredible planet and existence has in store for me, because everything is happening for you, and it's up to you whether you're going to get on the ride. And if you don't like the ride you're on, get on a different one.
Wow. Wow.
Well said.
Beautiful.
Well said.
Beautiful.
Well said, Jamie. How could someone get in contact with you?
The best way currently to get in contact with me is to go to my master link, and all of the information of wherever you could want to find me is there. And it's lnk.bio, link.bio. That's one of the many master link companies, /wake-in, WAKE-in. But predominantly, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Insight Timer, I'm on LinkedIn. I occasionally go over to Facebook. I've completely abandoned Instagram and X and all these other things, because I really thrive going live and providing real value in real time and being able to engage, with you in real time, especially when I get to see faces. That's helpful. I'm autistic, so when I can have engagement, it's much easier for me to feel into your energy, to know your energy, to know how you're responding.
Yes.
And I would love to hear from you. And you can also always email me at wake and number 2 love, like the word love, LOVE, @gmail.com.
Beautiful. And all Jamie handles is in the show notes. So you just go to the show notes and you're going to find all Jamie handles, and you can get in contact with Jamie. Jamie, you served us well. The menu was really good tonight.
That was the intention. You know it. I came in. I set that intention before I came on, and I told you, and so it's an honor to be here with both of you. I always love spending time together. I love having the high vibrational conversation that we're having, and and even in those moments where I'm like, well, everyone knows this already. Like, no, not everyone knows this. And we all need to hear things many times before we fully process it and act upon it. And I know what it's like to be stubborn for a long time before you break through. And my deepest desire is for people to have a much easier time than I did, and to do it all much faster, because I want you to live your best life.
Yes.
I want you to put your love, your special sauce, your joy of whatever your purpose and gifts are into this world. We all need you. And when you receive, we all receive. So thank you so much for giving me the honor to provide. And I received so much love in return.
John?
Wow, what a treat. What a treat. It's such a joy that we can come into a space and share, uplift, inspire, motivate, and even transform, because what you shared tonight, Jamie, is, one may think, I have experienced burnout. What can I do in this moment? And then what can I incorporate in my lifestyle moving forward, that if it do occur again, or there's reoccurrence, I can know what I can tap into. I have the tools that I can incorporate with that and help me as a person move forward. Because with a fast-pacing world that we encounter on a daily basis, we going, we doing so much. But we have our tools that we can hold on to, reset our gratitude, our journaling, focusing on our chakras and all the list of things that you have outlined to us, that we can take inspired action, we can take care of ourselves so that we know when we spot burnout, we know we can pull back, we can pause, and what we can incorporate. As the analogy that you share with the laptop, you see when your battery is going down, you know it's going to be low, you know it needs to be charged. Then what action are you taking in a moment? Are you going to let it run right down? Or are you going to power it up? And powering up with using all the tools, but it's meditation, making sure you focus on your nutrition, taking care of your gut health, your microbiome, and all the list of things, exercising and everything, so that you can stay fully living a fulfilled life that you can serve, and not just only serve well, and not only survive, but you can thrive. Step into your power, move into your greatness, and live a life that you truly deserve. So, Jamie, we just want to thank you. We value your time sitting with us tonight and sharing with us and serving us very well. Thank you so much for all the abundance that you've given us here tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah.
the opportunity.
You know, Jamie, you really help us to understand this evening that we can do this.
Mm-hmm.
We can take the inspired action and we can do this. We can help ourselves. And if you cannot do it on your own, reach out and get the professional help that you need. Don't sit there and telling yourself, I cannot do this, because you can reach and get the professional help that you need in order that you can live a fulfilled life. And don't live, and when you get to the end, you're living with regrets. If there is someone in your life you need to forgive that person and forgive them with love, because it is essential to forgive with love. Because many times we are waiting for that last moment, and sometimes the last moment we never get. You know, we never get that last moment. So, what you can do in this present moment, just do it. Do it for you. The forgiveness is for you. Because when you forgive, you're releasing that dense energy from your body. You're releasing that dense energy that has been holding you back for such a long time. Because many times we are suppressing things. We keep pushing it down, keep pushing it down, keep pushing it down. It's time that you release the dense energy that you're pushing down. Because there's going to come a time you can't push it anymore.
Right.
Can't push that energy anymore down. So
Break free.
release it. Release and release with love. Release and release with love. And know that you're worthy. Know that you're special. Know that you're one of a kind. There ain't got nobody who could have your fingerprint. Your fingerprint is unique to you because you're special. You are special. So you have to start seeing yourself being special. And Jamie, you outlined some beautiful points here this evening. You give us a lot of tools. And I just hope the audience been taking their notes.
Yeah, well, if anything, I hope that they take at least one thing and they take
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the takeaway tonight. Yeah.
that they take in action because
Yes.
I think Karen, at the beginning, you were talking about a maze, right? And the feeling lost. And when you said that, I was thinking about corn mazes as a kid, and I used to go through. And if you go through a corn maze, there's always people that stand up on these like big things to see you, and then you have this whole flag thing you're holding, and if you get lost, you can put it up, and then they come to find you. And we
Yeah.
are the ones who come to find you. We're paying
Yes.
attention for your flags. We see them and we hear you, and we're here to respond.
Yes. Yes. Correct, Jimmy. Beautiful. Well said. We are here just responding. Yes. That is what we're doing. And we are being of service. We are just being of service to help you. Every week we show up here, myself and Joan. We always try to find a guest that could answer the questions that people really want to be answered. And we bring the guests on for you. We are just being of service. We are just being of service. Like myself and Joan, we, at the end of our meditation every day, the line we always leave before we get up asking, how can we be of service? And provide us with all the tools that is necessary so we can be of service. Be of service. Just to be of service. That is what we're here for. And it's to help the collective. We are here to help the collective. Wherever you are right now, just know that you can get help. You can get help. Reach out and get the right kind of help. We love each and every one of you. If there's any questions that you need to be answered, just message us. Jamie, reach out to Jamie. Have a talk with Jamie because he's in so many areas. So reach out to Jamie, have a talk with Jamie, and see where that conversation will lead you. And thanks to all the audience for joining us this evening. We appreciate each and every one of you on IG, on Facebook, on Instagram. We appreciate each and every one of you for taking the time to listen to us. And as Jamie said, if you can take away one thing tonight with you, you're well fed. You're well fed. And don't forget to subscribe to Soul, Light, and Body, that you will never miss none of these episodes. We're just here to help you. That's all. We're just here to help you. And have a wonderful day, evening, whichever part of the world that you are right now. Just have a good day. Just have a good day. And sprinkle love all across the world. Love you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.